Transportation theory is, it deals with stories. So if you're reading a story, do you feel transported by the story? We don't like to use the words transported because it sounds like a truck going down the highway. So we like the word immersion. So are you immersed in the story? Do you get really into it? Is it turning you on so that you've got mental imagery in regard to the story, that there's emotional involvement, that you're disregarding reality, you're disregarding things that are going on inside your environment, you're focusing on the story. And if you can achieve immersion, the research shows that your beliefs and attitudes will come into concordance with the narrative, the story, the greater the immersion. You can promote immersion by having a captivating story or a captivating narrative, by introducing virtual reality, and by introducing participatory activities. So these are all kinds of things that are aspects of video games, and we try to capture in our video games. The other thing that we can do with story, and this isn't part of transportation theory, is that we can use the story to model behaviors, and we think that that's a critical component. So this is the same model of behavior change, of how we think video games influence behavior change, and then each of those intervention ideas have an impact at some point in the model. So our first effort at doing a video game was something called Squire's Quest. The targeted variable for the targeted behavior for Squire's Quest was to increase fruit and vegetable consumption. The Squire's Quest game is 10 sessions. It was played twice a week for 5 weeks. It was roughly 20 minutes a session. This was done in elementary schools. If it was much more than 20 minutes at a time, it would violate the classroom problems. 20 minutes was kind of what we could work with to not run afoul of teachers and what they were trying to do in the classroom. We did a previous project called the Gimme 5 project, which was also an elementary school-based intervention. We essentially converted the Gimme 5 curriculum to a video game. We've published on the Gimme 5 curriculum as well. The mediators in the Squire's Quest game are fruit and vegetable preferences. We're trying to get the kids to like fruits and vegetables more. We're trying to increase home availability. We've got lots of studies that have shown that if you have more fruits and vegetables at home, you've got kids who are more likely to eat the fruits and vegetables. That's not a revolutionary idea, but it's a nice little piece of putting a puzzle together. We worked on recipe preparation skills. When we've done focus groups with parents, we've got parents of children telling us they don't know how to prepare foods. That their idea of a family meal is to go to the Colonel and get a bucket of chicken and bring it home and eating it at dinner. And clearly that's not what most people have in mind when they think of a family meal and all the research that's being done on family meals. So part of our agenda was fast recipe preparation skills, and that's fast, simple, safe, and tasty. It's got to be done in less than 5 minutes. It's got to be less than 5 steps. It's got to be safe, low use of knives and stoves, because we don't want the kids to be exposed to dangerous situations. It's got to be tasty. On the side, lots of asides. We went to the Ritz-Carlton and we hired a chef to generate some of the recipes, and we thought, you know, what better than and in Houston, Ritz-Carlton had the best reputation. It had the 5-star restaurant in Houston at the time. This is late 90s. And we couldn't get the Ritz-Carlton chef to do it. He was so into his exquisite sauces that we couldn't get him to do it. We had to find other ways of coming up with recipes, but kind of interesting. And asking skills. So asking skills is how do we increase the home availability? Well, we've done all kinds of things in trying to influence moms and dads at home. We've done newsletters at home. We've done telephone calls. We've done email messages. Just about anything you can think of trying to reach parents, we've tried, and none of that's worked. The only thing that we've found that influences parents to have better food offerings at home is what we call asking skills. So we train the kids to go home and ask for fruits and vegetables. If Johnny comes home and says, "Mom, I want an apple," what mom is going to say? "No, you can't have any apples." that seems terribly unlikely. So if we get the kids to ask for healthier foods, we think we've got a winner for increasing home availability. Procedures for promoting changes and mediating variables is goal setting, goal review, goal problem solving, to involve the parents through home recipe assignments. When the kids made a recipe in our video game, they got a copy of the recipe. We were hoping that by making the recipe in the game, they would be more likely to go home and make it and try to involve mom and dad, mom in most cases, to help them make the recipe. In the game itself, we had virtual recipe preparation. So there was in the castle, there was a kitchen. In the kitchen, we had every castle has to have a microwave and a blender, and we used all those equipment in doing the virtual recipe preparation. Then we printed a recipe out and sent it to his home with it. There was an engaging storyline, and we did training in asking behaviors. Evaluation of the Squires Quest project, we had 1,600 fourth grade children in 26 different schools. The schools were randomly assigned to treatment and control, so 13 treatment schools, 13 control schools, approximately 800 kids in each group. We did a pre and post assessment. In my opinion, the best approach to dietary assessment at this time, all methods of dietary assessment are abominable. The least abominable is the 24-hour dietary recall. We had multiple 24-hour recalls, so the best approach that we knew how to promote or to assess diet. And the control group got a no intervention. So it was a treatment group versus a no intervention control group. The outcome results of that study showed that kids who played the game, again, 10 sessions, 20 minutes a session over a course of 5 weeks, increased their fruit and vegetable consumption by 9/10 of a serving a day. That's the second best change in the literature for increasing fruits and vegetables. So it's not 5 servings a day, it's not 3 servings a day, it's 9/10 of a serving a day, almost a serving a day. So it's not as good as we would have liked to have had, but it's as good as anybody's done, almost as good as anybody's done in the literature. The changes occurred at snacks, so we got them to increase fruit consumption at snacks, and we got them to increase vegetable consumption at lunch. We need more work on breakfast changes and dinner changes. The kids who attained their recipe preparation goals were more likely to have increased fruit and vegetable consumption. And then this is a whole series of qualifiers on the relationship to goal attainment and fruit and vegetable outcome. So this one showed that these are different analyses that was done, that we're trying to understand what's going on. So if the kids had low baseline fruit preferences, if they didn't really like fruit, or if their level of fruit preference was lower than everybody else, and they achieved more fruit goals, they were more likely to increase their fruit and vegetable consumption. Alternatively, if they had low vegetable consumption at baseline, and they achieved 1 vegetable goal, they increased their vegetable intake. But if they achieved 2 or 3 goals, they didn't increase their intake. So all kinds of squirrely things going on in this stuff. And I think it raises questions about what do we really know about promoting change in children. With that, again.